Gertrude Werk, but I go by Gert. I hate that name. It's my grandma's name. I told you how it was when we first got married. We lived in a log house, and then we had to go outside to go to the bathroom, and we had to go down a creek to haul our water. And I hauled it before when I was with my mom, when she'd bathe her kids or wash her clothes. Her and my brother Bumsy helped me. We'd take the tub down the creek, and each had a bottle of water, make a bucket of water. We'd put that tub about half full, and then we'd each have a side, and the other side was a bucket. See, we had to do that about twice, because she had to wash clothes and then rinse them. And then when she'd bathe them kids, we'd have to go get the tub of water. Yeah, that was tough back then, even in the winter time. Yeah, when I was young, my mom and dad, well, my dad lived with us for a while, but he left us, I don't know when, but anyhow, everything was up to me and Bumsy. We had to saw wood, chop wood, and there was a time when Mom didn't have no wood at all, so we went in the brush and just chopped some trees down and cut it up. But it kept the night anyway. Oh, Christmas, only when I had to go up there to do my first communion, and she was my teacher, and she was mean. If you put your hands on the desk, she'd come and hit it with a ruler. They were mean, them nuns. I know some people got along, but she didn't like us because my mom and dad were divorced, and that was a no-no to the Catholic Church. Back then. Nowadays it's all different. I remember sometimes we'd be down at my grandma's. She stayed down here. We'd have to walk up to the road to get on a bus, and if we missed it, we had to walk up all the way to the mission. And we had to wear dresses, but we'd wear pants under, and then we'd roll them up. So those teachers thought we had just dresses on. So, really, God, that was terrible, though, in the winter time. Wear a dress, goodness. After I got married, I used to ride horses when I was younger. We had an old horse there, but he was too old to ride too far, so that time I went to a rodeo down at Coles. I borrowed a horse from my grandpa, Bob Mount. Yeah, he was good to ride, but anything when he was coming home, he just took off. I couldn't hold him back. There was no fences out there then, and he stopped, waited for the rest of those kids. Yeah, this was my dad's name, my dad's land, and then the other part, it was his grandfolks, and him and Mabel Bradley split it up. So one part's it's my land now. It's next to the hill there, and then there was some more here, and this was my grandma's land, and it was split up between Mabel and my dad, and I bought Mabel's. So, and my dad, well, after my dad and mother divorced, my dad gave me his land down at Three Buttes, 300 and some acres, and I traded for that out there where Coochie's at. When we was young, me and my sisters, we lived on horses. We'd get on a horse and go up the mountains. There used to be campers up there. White people would go camp, and we'd sell a ride for a quarter. And sometimes they'd leave some food for us. That was our trip when we went up canyon horseback. We always had a different road every time it flooded. They'd flood our road out in a canyon. But now they have it built so that it doesn't wash out. But just in some parts they still do, I guess. I went to first grade in Mission, and then they had a little white house up there at the schoolyard. They built one, and that was a public school, so I went down there till I was a sixth grader. Then I had to go get my communion, and then when I graduated from eighth grade, there was only one high school, and that was the Mission. We didn't have any other schools. And I told them, I'm not going to Mission, those nuns are too mean. So my mom sent me to Flandreau for 4 years, and they were about my best years I had. Yeah, we had a lot of fun and stuff, and we had our own rooms, 3 squares. Got to go to movies and have dances and all that stuff that kids do. I was 19. I wanted them to know how to talk Grove on, but some of them do, but when I was growing up, they wouldn't let us talk. When my folks talked, they could talk, and they didn't want, or the people didn't, or whoever didn't want them to teach us how to talk Indian. So I know some words, but not all. Yeah. I named my cat Was-Was. Bear cat. Yeah, I used to name my cats Indian names. We never had cars around here. Just Mabel Bradley, I think she's the only one who had a car here. And we'd have to hire her to take us to town. Yeah, we got to watch a ghost dance, or I guess that's what it is, where they have those fools. They're Indians that dance up kind of crazy. They got old sacks and stuff for their clothes. And then we was down at the agency when we went to that Sundance, and then they were having this other dance there too. And they all ran over the hill there. And then when they came back, they had stuff and they'd throw it at us. Mabel Bradley told us, get in the car, they're going to throw some stuff at you. They come dancing down and they throw some, part of a gut hit her car. And whoever was out there, they'd throw at them. They had some stuff that they butchered a cow over there, I guess, on the hill. Yeah, that's the first and last time I ever seen a ghost dance. I think it's a ghost dance. Yeah, I never did see another one, yeah, but I got to see it. Just for a meal. Old Lady Warrior used to live down at that agency down the hill right next to the river. There she had a little shack there. I think it was a shack. Yeah, a little house there. And Edna Horseman and my mom went down there. And they went in and visited her. She came out, she had a pup, and she took it and she hung it up. and she went in, and me and Benny Horseman, that's it, Benny Horseman, went and untied it and was playing with it. And she told Mom and Edna, well, my pup should be ready. She came out, here was playing with it. Boy, we caught heck. She was just all ready to cook it. Yeah. I never did eat dog, though. I was pitying them instead of eating them. Mm-hmm. But my sister did, Frances. She stayed with my grandma down here. She ate everything my grandma ate. She ate guts and dog. And her name's Frances. Yeah, she was raised by my grandma for a while till she was ready to go to school. I never did eat guts. I don't know, I was a funny person, I guess. The only thing I really ate was the marrow gut. This one place, when Edna Horseman, I think it was, she cooked it, baked it, and she gave us a piece. It was just like crackling, so. Yeah, my mom, every time I'd come back from Flanders, she'd go visiting, leave us alone. But she'd come back and bring some food for me to cook. So when I was young, I never had a young life. I had babysitting for 4 years until I graduated, and then I got married right the next year. But I still had some of my brothers and sisters. I had Bumsy, Goosey, Mabel, and Loppy. Those 4. Loppy was, she was 3 years old when my mom left her with me. I didn't know she was trying to give her away, but somebody told me, but I was glad I raised her. Right now she's sick in a hospital. But she's pretty sick, I guess. But she's been getting a little better and better every day. I can't get on. I could if I could get on, but I was telling them boys I wanted to ride, and they said, no, you're not going to ride. You can't get on, and those horses move if you try to put a bucket or something to stand on so you could put your foot in the stirrup. They'd move. They knew you want to get on, they'd move. Leave you standing on that that bucket. Yeah. Yeah, we used to, when Clyde was working for Sanders and Bardnell, and Sanders moved to town, and he made us stay in his house down there by, what do they call those guys? I can't think of their names. They were right there. Their houses, when you're coming from the dumps, they're right there, and there's a fence there that goes that way, and that part was Sanders, but he leased. He was staying there for lease. I used to go with Clyde when he'd go. See, there was no hardly fences, and they let their horses out, and sometimes the cows, and I'd go help him move cows or get his horses. Yeah, I remember wrangling once for him down there. It just rained. I was coming over that hill, and there was a buffalo wallow. You know buffalo wallows? Mm-hmm. There were buffalo bays. They got it all worn out. It's just dirt there. And that horse slipped, and I don't know, I think it was one of my uncles, because I was always riding, and they told us, if your horse ever falls with you, he said, said, kick your feet out of the stirrup, and because that horse fell, and when I hit the ground, they said, when you hit the ground, roll, so it doesn't lay on you. So that's what I had to do. Yeah, I kept that in my head, and I told my kids that too. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of kids always let the horses fall on them and break leg or something. I was told that we were at up by Rocky Boy, below Rocky Boy there, at those hills, and then they pushed us off to Rocky Boy, and then they pushed us here. There was one old guy that never left the bear paws, so he just stayed there. Sit him high. He just stayed there. My dad used to always talk about him. They couldn't kick him off. He must have died there too, I guess, up there in the bear paws. My dad used to go to the mountains and get poles, that's all. We made extra money a long time ago. He had a team he bought from a Swan. I don't know what his name was. Swan was his name. Joe and Gabe, he called him. He'd go up the mountains and we'd go with him. Our mom would take lunch and we'd eat up there. But this one time we went up there, I got off my horse and I looked on the ground, there's a bunch of little worms. I jumped back on my horse and I ate on that horse. I didn't get off at all. I don't know what kind of worms they call it. Every once in a while they come to the trees. Yeah, he'd sell it, he'd haul his poles down, and those white guys would come and buy them. What happened is that old chief there were some Assiniboines that came, I guess, and they wanted to rest, and he told them they could rest. But he took 5 Assiniboines and married them, and those Assiniboines that were here, they went and got some down below and brought them. That's how come they're here. Yeah, they said there was just a few of them, but once they got and settled down, they went and got their friends or families, brought them up. I suppose if they didn't know that story, they wouldn't like me. Yeah, Running Fisher was his name, the chief, Running Fisher. He's the one, he said he looked for the prettiest women, 5 of them. So that's why a lot of us are part Assiniboine. I got about a 16th of Assiniboine. The rest is Gros Ventre. There used to be graves over there on that hill. You know where Mains are over there? That hill was full of graves. We used to walk through there and go on top of that hill where the road goes through. And they must have took some of them graves out of there, reburied them, because they were around top of the hill too. They had their beds and their dishes and suitcases and stuff. Those that died, they'd put their stuff alongside their grave. I never even seen a buffalo for quite a while, till I was in high school. When I went to Flanders, you could see them some places. But they're bringing them back, I guess. But they're starving them now. I went to a meeting up here one time with the council, and that's when those buffalo there, they had, it was just really bare, that down there. I told them, if you guys want to raise buffalo, you better get another place to put them. I said, right now they're eating rocks and, and pooping out sand or that stuff. So they gave them extra land back that way, so that they're not starving now. I guess the council probably got mad at me for telling them that, but that was true. The poor buffalo were eating around. You could see those, after they ate that grass, you could see all the rocks. Yeah, a lot of things. I was on the council for 4 years. I was just a member. I wasn't a secretary or vice chair or anything like that. After you get in there, you pick one that you think they could do work like that, like the president, the chief. They vote for somebody that they knew was kind of educated. 4 years. I didn't know I was on there that long. It went by fast. A lot of business. I learned a lot, but I didn't want to get back on. I never did see a sweat. Maybe there was, but I never seen any. The Ice Clan. I think that's the Ice Clan. Yeah, I think that. Old Lady Warrior. I got it in a book here someplace. That I check up on them. I would have to check on it after a while, see where it was for sure, but it's Ice or I thought it was Ice Clan. They are already. Yeah, there's a lot of them mixed. They're mixed, yeah. And those Assiniboines that stayed here when they were allotting land, they had to allot them too. That's why they have land here. And I think some of them have land down Fort Beck too.